Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to the Cantina Corner. Today we're going to take a look at the Lego Dark Falcon. Let's get to it. Okay, this is Lego number 75389. It is the Lego Dark Falcon from Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy on Disney+. It has an MSRP of $179.99, but it is on sale for $149.99 on Amazon, Walmart, and other sites. It is 1,579 pieces. All right, so let's look at the minifigures first and get that out of the way. There are 6 in this set, and it is one of the main reasons that this set is of interest to a lot of people. So you see the first one that I'm going to show you here is Darth Dev. He is the main villain in the first season of the show, and he appears in both seasons of the show. He is the brother of the main character. And so without giving you too much more information than that, if you haven't seen the show yet, I encourage you to go check it out on Disney Plus because it's a fun watch. But that's Darth Dev. Probably the least interesting of the 6 because he's not a character we've ever seen anywhere before outside of this show. But he's there, and you do want a copy of him if you're trying to collect Rebuild the Galaxy characters. The next one is Bounty Hunter C-3PO. So he's really fun. He's got a black arm, so you might not recognize him, but he's got the red eyes. So really fun seeing C-3PO as a bounty hunter, which is his character in the show. And a nice print all the way around, including printing on the arms. So a great C-3PO. All right, right out of Rise of Skywalker, we get Darth Rey. She shows up in this show too. So nothing too elaborate here, but the first time we've gotten a Lego minifigure of Darth Rey. She has her double-bladed lightsaber staff before it's folded out in this set. So a nice sequence there, a nice figure there to add to your collection if you want a Dark Rey. And then you get Beach Bum Luke. He looks like a beach boy. He's got his blue milk. He's got his sunglasses on. If you look closely, he even has the talisman on that he gave to Padme, that Anakin gave to Padme in episode 1. So that's a fun Easter egg. And yeah, he's a beach bum, and that's kind of his character out of the show. And again, I don't want to spoil too much, but if you want to know why you have beach bum Luke Skywalker, go check out Rebuild the Galaxy and find out for yourself. All right. My personal favorite in this box, we get Jedi Darth Vader in the white armor. So when are you ever going to have another chance to get Darth Vader in white armor? Really cool. Looks exactly like Darth Vader in black armor, just everything's white. And they've given us a Darth Vader if he were a Jedi. There's a really cool comic book series called Star Wars Infinities, and there was one page of the Return of the Jedi adaptation where we saw a Darth Vader in white armor. And I don't know if that was the only time, but it's the only time I've ever seen a version of Darth Vader that looks like this except in this Lego show. So seeing a Lego figure in the white armor, really cool. And the last figure, love him or hate him, Misa back! Darth Jar Jar is in this box. So whether or not you like Jar Jar, you gotta admit Darth Jar Jar is pretty funny, pretty cool, and they did a pretty good job with this minifig. Right down to the eyes. If you can get a good look at those eyes there, you can see they even have kind of the Sith colors going on in his eyes. So Darth Jar Jar, a cool chest piece. Nice printing all the way around. Darth Jar Jar. All right, so the model itself, I mean, I'm not sure what else you could expect from a Dark Falcon except what we get here, a Dark Falcon. It is the Millennium Falcon in black metal, black armor, just like we see it in the show. So the idea of a Falcon that is dark and evil and corrupted is something we've never seen on screen before. So really fun opportunity to play with the Falcon and see it in this different personality. You know, the Falcon is very much a character in Star Wars, so seeing what it would look like if it became evil is really cool, really fun. But it's iconic. It's still the Falcon, right? You recognize it immediately from its shapes. You know, the little radar dish is turned into a super laser weapon, which we see in the show. It's still got its quad cannons on the top and the bottom. It's got its distinctive forward mandibles, the cockpit offset to the right. Everything you could want in a Millennium Falcon model is here, just in black. Batman would like it too, right? Seems like they missed an opportunity to have a crossover, have Batman show up in the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy show since, you know, the Star Wars characters did crash Lego Batman. But that's neither here nor there. But this model, really great. The scale of it, it's got a lot of detail for a play scale model. Everything in here is minifigure sized. Just a lot of cool detail. The detail along the edges of the greebling along the sides is really well done. Gives it a lot of personality. Just something to look at every angle when you look at the outside of this model. The engines in that glowing mean red color are look really good. I have in fact, let me bring it over and show you. I have the Kessel Run Falcon for comparison, but I think they did a much better job on these engines. All right, so here's the Kessel Run Falcon just for comparison, and specifically, we'll use it to look at the size comparison in a few minutes, but specifically looking at the engines. You know, the way they did the engine here is pretty clever, and it works pretty nicely with this blue piping piece. It's a single piece, but I just don't think it's nearly as nice as those red engines on the Dark Falcon. So I prefer the tile look that they use on the Falcon. But that's the back of the Kessel Run Falcon. You've got the escape pods over on the side and the cockpit in this really cool red, evil red color that we get in this version of the model. So the Dark Falcon, not sure what more you could ask for in the exterior. Let's look at the bottom though, because that is the one place where these Lego models tend to disappoint. And the Millennium Falcon, pretty much any of these Millennium Falcons of this scale, it's no different. They're disappointing on the bottom. You get the bottom here, lots of plates. Only thing you do have going on down here is you have the quad turret down there and you have some landing gear. But really, you're not gonna look at the bottom very often, so that's the bottom. All right, let me show it to you next to the other Falcon for comparison, and then we'll take a look inside. All right, so here it is next to the Kessel Run Falcon from the Solo movie, and just for a size comparison, you can see it's very much in scale with this model. I don't have any of the other play scale Millennium Falcons like this to show it to you next to, but they're all pretty much the same scale. And you can tell, if anything, they did a better job with this version than the Kessel Run in terms of the mandibles on the front. They got the proportions on those correct. Those are a little tiny on the Kessel Run Falcon. That's because it's supposed to have that escape pod, which I've taken off. And when they put that in there, they just had to compromise some things. So anything else, though, is very much the same shape and size as one of these Millennium Falcon sets they've released over the years. So you're getting pretty much the same set and the same scale. All right, so let's take a look at the inside. So first of all, I'm going to point out all the different spaces that open. You have panels here, here, and here in the back, and then 3 in the front. The cockpit and the turret all have panels that open. So let's look at the cockpit first, get a close look here. So when you open up, the cockpit just pulls off, and then you can see inside I've got Ray piloting it right now. There's a simple little control panel. Not a lot going on in there. But that is the inside of the cockpit, the way it looks out of the box if you don't modify anything. Then here in the front, you open this middle section first, and the big panels will open up. And now you get a look inside here, and you can see you've got a throne, which I've got Jar Jar sitting on currently. And there's a couple of bunks off to the side over here, and then just some open flooring space for the most part. So there's not much in there except for that throne. The throne does come out, so you can have Darth Jar Jar sitting on a throne. And inside, behind it, as a nice Easter egg, you have a Sith Kyber crystal hiding back there. So that's kind of a fun little Easter egg in there. And then the other bit of it, turn it around here, is in front of that throne. You have kind of a control screen. It's not the cockpit. Maybe it's a backup cockpit, or maybe it's just a computer station to get you a good look there. But it's done with stickers, and they're really well done to match the overall look of the ship with the black and red. So kind of evil looking controls in there too. So that's the forward section. As we move to the back, let's do the middle first, the center section. The gun turret does open up, and inside there you have a little hover sled that comes out. You can put figures on each side of it, and they can scoot around. So they had to do something with that section, so they put a little hover sled in there. I think that's what they did on the Kessel Run Falcon 2, if I remember correctly. The back sections open up. They open up in 3 pieces here, so I do like that. It opens up nice and wide, just these 3 sections. The Kessel Run Falcon has, I think, 5 of these smaller flaps to open up, so I like that these are big. I think most of the other recent Millennium Falcons of this scale have used that method. Inside here you get a cool little like man cave for Dev. He's like hanging out. He's got a video game controller. He's got his couch. He's got a TV here where he's playing his games. So, and a video game system. So he's hanging out back there. It's kind of his space. There's the hyperdrive, which they've used stickers on these pieces to kind of give you a sense of the hyperdrive. So that's pretty neat. And then there's a prison cell. And I don't know if you can see, if I can give you a good look, but I've got Jedi Vader in the prison cell. So there's a fun prison cell with those transparent red bricks to make it look like force fields. And then over on the other side, you've just got some coaxium laying around, fuel for the ship. And I've got Bounty Hunter C-3PO hanging out back there. So that's the interior of the ship. All right, so closing thoughts on the Lego Dark Falcon. Main reason to pick this up, if you haven't already and you're interested, would be really two main reasons in my mind. Number one, how often are we ever going to see a black Millennium Falcon ever again? So it's probably a unique set that we won't get ever again. And number two has to be all those cool minifigs that come in here. Again, some really unique figures that we'll probably never see in anything else. But it's a great addition to any collection. If you don't have a Millennium Falcon and you're looking for something unique and different, this one would certainly stand out. And in my case, I had that Solo Falcon, which was the white version of the Millennium Falcon, so I loved having the dark version right next to that one. And I have a midi scale Falcon and some others as well, so it's hard to ever say no to a Millennium Falcon. They're always fun to build. But this one's really unique, really great. It's out there right now, so if you haven't picked it up yet and you're thinking about it, I hope something here helped. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. That was my review of the Lego Dark Falcon. If you enjoyed that, please like and subscribe below. And until the next time, may the Force be with you.